dear fans, friends, and subscribers. This is your host Ram welcoming you to an early edition of the Daily Cricket Happening Show today. And on this Cricket Happening Show, I am going to look at the first game of the Tri-Series which started in Zimbabwe, which has three contestants, host Zimbabwe, Pakistan and Australia. Today was the first game between Pakistan and Zimbabwe, and we all know that Zimbabwe I have been telling that on my cricket show and also on my Twitter that Zimbabwe are a crippled unit, and well, as I said, Pakistan were clear favourites, and that's what precisely happened, and Pakistan won the match in a very comfortable manner. And I'll come back to the details later. Also, what the other thing that I have in store for you on this daily cricket show is, as you know, the Royal London One Day Cup final was played yesterday between Hampshire and Kent, and Hampshire were the proud winners of the Royal London One Day Cup, especially powered on by the captain Rilee Rissouw's wonderful century. They went on to beat Kent in the Royal London One Day Cup final. So these are the two things I will be really looking at, and definitely there will be more coverage of the Pakistan versus Zimbabwe match, which I'll talk in greater detail, and a match summary of the Royal London One Day Cup final where Hampshire won it. And also we have a look at some light cricket news, one could say. So let's talk about it then. So let's start off with the first game of the Tri-Series in Zimbabwe. It was played at the capital Harare, and it was between Zimbabwe and Pakistan. Well, the toss was actually won by the Zimbabwean new captain Hamilton Masakadza, and he decided that Pakistan will bat first. It was based on the decision, one thought that probably Masakadza was thinking that it is better to actually chase a target. Now I wouldn't know as to what extent what were the factors that influenced Masakadza to take such a decision. But nevertheless, one thing that we saw after Zimbabwe won the toss and put Pakistan in, the ball was nicely coming onto the bat. Well, but even though the ball was nicely coming onto the bat, Kyle Jarvis drew first blood as he forced Mohammad Hafiz to nick one to Masakadza in the slip. So it was a good beginning for Zimbabwe, and it was a good catch by the captain Masakadza. So actually it was the first over, and in the very first over itself, Mohammad Hafiz was opening the innings. Not in the first over, the second over of the final delivery, Kyle Jarvis was the bowler, and in fact Hafiz was actually trying to make use of the power play. He was actually coming down the wicket to probably hoist Jarvis into the spectators, and Jarvis was pretty smart. He actually put like a short delivery, got some extra bounce on that, and it forced Mohammad Hafiz to splice the ball, and Hamilton Masakadza was into business, as it was a good catch, because any catch which you actually go on the back and take, it's always going to be difficult. So it was a wonderful breakthrough, and Hamilton Masakadza actually took a overhead catch, and Mohammad Hafiz was on his way back to the pavilion. So 13 for 1 was the score in the second over, and so one would say that Zimbabwe definitely had a good start to the proceedings here. Now Fakhar Zaman was at the other end, and he was joined in by Hussain Talat, and suddenly what one saw was that there was some problems after 2 overs from Kyle Jarvis, who was bowling very well. If you look at his bowling figures, he had given the breakthrough, had bowled 2 overs for 9 runs and 1 wicket, and he's the one who is the fastest bowler in Zimbabwe, and one was really surprised to see, as he actually tried to at long on, he actually tried to sprawl himself, and in the process he injured himself and the news is not good at all. Not only was he not able to bowl his full quota, it also resulted in him being out of the Tri-Series, and that would have been a great setback for Zimbabwe. They were already crippled with all the big names not being playing, and then added to that Kyle Jarvis totally out of business in the Tri-Series. That really, I think, complicates matters for Zimbabwe, even for their chances are concerned, because I was under the impression that the bowling is something where probably Zimbabwe could give a sort of a thrust with the batting being weak. But now with Kyle Jarvis out of business, I think Zimbabwe are finding it going to be very tough. I wouldn't give any chance to Zimbabwe to even come close to winning the Tri-Series. Probably it could be a Pakistan-Australia final. I'm sorry to say that, but this is purely my opinion on this cricket show. So Hussain Talat and Fakhar Zaman were there, but Hussain Talat was dismissed by Chibaba. Now Hussain Talat actually snicked the delivery. It was a ball which was just swaying away outside the off stump, and Talat was probably trying to steer it through the vacant third man region, and it ended up with Peter Moore behind the stumps taking an easy catch. So he was gone. So Hussain Talat was out for 10 of 19 deliveries, for 12 deliveries with 1-4. The captain Sarfraz Ahmed walked in. At the other end, Fakhar Zaman was doing a good job. He was not the one to be very overwrapped with the situation, and as one knows, Fakhar Zaman, he likes to play his throws. He's an aggressive cricketer, and one definitely saw Fakhar Zaman get into his own as he started hitting boundaries and sixes at his own will. And Sarfraz Ahmed, the captain, had walked in to join. But Sarfraz Ahmed could contribute only 16 runs of 15 deliveries with 2 fours. Now this was Chisoro. Now Chisoro, the spinner, actually he was the ball was actually coming on to the leg stump, and probably Sarfraz Ahmed wanted to tickle it down to the mid-wicket region and probably get off for a single. But on the other hand, it ended up like a leading edge, and a simple catch was taken at cover by Musakanda. Tarai Musakanda was making his T20 debut today, and Sarfraz Ahmed was a goner. Instead of putting it to mid-wicket, he was actually walking back to the pavilion. So Sarfraz Ahmed was gone, caught Musakanda, bowled Chisoro for 16 of 15 deliveries, 2 fours. And that made the score look 78 for 3. And one was wondering that, barring Fakhar Zaman, there was nothing forthcoming. But the man who was walking in was Shoaib Malik. And Shoaib Malik, he has tons of experience. He walked in to join Fakhar Zaman at the other end, who was firing well. And Shoaib Malik, as one has seen, that he has a different dimension to his game now. And that is, it's to really go on the attack. That was the real one which actually provided a sort of impetus to the innings. From 78 for 3, the score started galloping with 42 runs taken. Still they need to be watchful, but I thought Shoaib Malik played well. And then in the process, Shoaib Malik became the third international cricketer to pass 2,000 runs in T20 cricket. And Shoaib Malik, he hit 37, but the other end, Fakhar Zaman, who was doing a good job, finally fell. His wicket was taken by Chisoro, but not before Fakhar Zaman definitely gave something to thank for Pakistan. Now this was back of length delivery. The left-arm spinner actually got the ball to fizz off the pitch, and Fakhar was probably trying to really give it the heave-ho, but in the process he had his leg stump uprooted, and it was a cartwheeling actually, and Fakhar Zaman, after doing a good job, bowled by Chisoro for 61 of 40 deliveries, which included 3 fours and 3 sixes. And then Shoaib Malik, as I said, he was there at the crease. He was joined in by Asif Ali. Now Asif Ali is a good bat, and the time Asif Ali joined, he was the man of the match today, and Asif Ali joined, Asif Ali, because when Fakhar Zaman was out, the score at 120 for 4 in the 15th over. Shoaib Malik was just come in, he had just settled down, and Asif Ali came in, and there was only one thing that Asif Ali could do, and that was slam, bang, and wallop. And that's what he precisely did, as this particular partnership, which took the score from 120 to 182 for 4 of 20 overs, with Asif Ali smacking one boundary and 4 sixes in an unbeaten knock of 41 of just 21 deliveries. Shoaib Malik was not out on 37 of 24 deliveries, 2 fours and 1 6, and 182 for 4 was a good total on this particular pitch. But also one was reckoning with the ball really coming onto the bat, whether Pakistan should have probably scored 200 runs. The bowling, John Nimbu, the right arm off spinner, was making his T20 debut. Didn't have a good debut, I'm afraid to say. His 3 overs cost him 32. In fact, John Nimbu was bowling in tandem with Kyle Jarvis at the start. So it was one does not know whether that was a good move, but it resulted in Nimbu leaking runs. Jarvis, as I already told you, went off and that was also not a good thing for Zimbabwe. Blessing Muzrabani was very costly, 4 overs, leaking 46 runs without a wicket. Chamu Chibaba, 3 overs, no maiden, 1 for 29. Chisora was very, very impressive with his left arm spin. 4 overs, no maiden, 2 for 28, bowled superbly. Solomon Meyer, 3 overs for 29, and Ryan Burl, 1 over, none for 8. Now Zimbabwe were given a target of 183 runs to win of their 20 overs, and let's see how they fared. Well, it all started off with Solomon Meyer and Chibaba opening the innings, Sarfraz Ahmed in a very smart manner got his right arm offie into action. Mohammad Nawaz at one end and Usman Khan bowling at the other. And the first wicket to go was Chamu Chibaba, who was dismissed for a duck. It was Mohammad Nawaz who actually got Chibaba. The left arm spinner, it was the arm ball which Mohammad Nawaz slipped in, and it caught Chibaba absolutely plumb in front. It was LBW, bowled Mohammad Nawaz for duck after facing 3 deliveries. Hamilton Masakadze, the captain, walked in to join Solomon Meyer at the other end, but Hamilton Masakadze was dismissed cheaply. He was caught behind the bowling of Hassan Ali. He was probably trying to go for a full-blooded drive through the cover region. The ball swung away, took the edge of the bat, and nicely it settled into the gloves of Sarfraz Ahmed behind the stump. So Hamilton Masakadze are gone, caught Sarfraz Ahmed, bowled Hassan Ali for 7 of 8 deliveries with 1 6. So that definitely left this Zimbabwe innings not having a good start, and they were 22 for 2 at that stage. Solomon Meyer was just settling down at that stage, and Solomon Meyer, after tried to take the singles, but he also hit the odd boundary. As you know, Solomon Meyer is a very heavy hitter of the ball. He really hits the ball, a real tonk he gives, as and when he gets any loose deliveries. At the other end, he had the debutant joining him, Tarai Musakanda, and Musakanda and Solomon Meyer slowly started briefly reviving the innings from 22 as they pushed the score. They went for the runs. In fact, they added 35 runs in probably 4 overs with Solomon Meyer playing some big shots as well, and Musakanda just settling down, just trying to play himself in. But Solomon Meyer was a victim of the bowling of Mohammad Nawaz. Now, Mohammad Nawaz has taken his 2nd wicket here. So he tempted Solomon Meyer to go for a sweep shot by tossing the ball up, and all that Solomon Meyer could do was sky the ball up in the air. Hassan Ali neatly settled into it, and Solomon Meyer was out, gone for 27 of 29 deliveries, which included 1 4 and 2 6s, and the score read 3 wickets down for 57, and definitely Zimbabwe were not doing well. Now after that, it was Elton Chigumbura it was Peter Moore who had actually gone into the centre, but Shanab Khan clean bowled him for 2 of 5 deliveries. Elton Chigumbura was making a comeback, could contribute only 14 of 10 deliveries, 1 4 and 1 6, losing his stumps to Hassan Ali. Ryan Burl. At the other end, it was only Musakanda standing there, but Musakanda himself, who was the highest scorer with 43, was scalped by Usman Khan for 43 of 35. Always 2 fours in that. Chisoro was out for 1. After that, it was never going to be easy for the Zimbabweans with all the recognized batsmen into the pavilion. Ryan Burl was out for 9 of 11 balls. Chisoro was out to Usman Khan for 1, caught behind of 2 deliveries. Blessing Muzrabani, clean ball by Mohammad Hafiz for naught. Nimbu on his debut, not out on 1. Jarvis could not bat, and it was all over for Zimbabwe as Zimbabwe lost the first match of the tri-series. They were bowled out for 108, and Pakistan winning the match by 74 runs. Now, as far as the bowling was concerned, from the Pakistani bowlers, if you look at the bowling card there, Mohammad Nawaz was impressive, 4 overs 2 for 11. Usman Khan 3 overs 2 for 11. Fahim Ashraf 3 overs for 23. Hassan Ali 2 overs 2 for 19. Everyone got into the wicket-taking column there. Shraf Khan 1 for 29. Hassan Talat 1 over for 11. Hafiz bowled just 5 deliveries 2 for 3. And the only person who went wicketless was Fahim Ashraf. None for 10. Asif Ali for his very good batting at the during the death overs got the man of the match award. Now, this was the first match of the tri-series which was done and dusted. So we still have some matches to come in the tri-series. As I said, one thing that I would like to say is that probably when Pakistan were batting, the pitch was much better. But when the Zimbabweans were batting, probably the pitch had slowed down. So the ball was not really coming onto the bat. And that probably would have played a role in Zimbabwe being bowled out for 108. Well, from here, let's get on to the Royal London One Day Cup final, which was played in the United Kingdom, and Hampshire were taking on Kent, and Hampshire were the winners, as I said. The captain, Rilee Rissouw, reeling in a wonderful century. So just looking at the card there, Hampshire were the ones who actually batted first, and Rilee Rissouw was the, so not really, I'm sorry about that. James Vince is the captain of the Hampshire team. My apologies there. Rilee Rissouw, opening the innings, played a wonderful knock. They got on to a real flyer, I would say, with the openers Rilee Rissouw and Tim Aslop actually adding 136 runs for the first wicket in 22.2 overs. And Aslop contributing 72 of 75, 11 fours in that. But Rilee Rissouw went on to a wonderful century, 125 of 176, 114 deliveries, which included 9 fours and 3 sixes, and he played strokes all around the park. And one knows that Rilee Rissouw of South Africa is a very good stroke maker. He has some nice strokes in his repertoire. James Vince, the captain, was out for 23 of 24 deliveries, 3 fours in that knock. Northeast was there till the end, piloting the Hampshire innings and making sure that Rilee Rissouw and his efforts did not go in vain, as Hampshire racked up a huge total of 330 for 7 thanks to Sam Northeast, who was there till the end, not out on 75 of 60 deliveries, 6 fours and 2 sixes. Liam Dawson was out for 8, McManus 6, Weatherly not, Berg 9, Stein was not, Dale Stein was into action 2, not out on 1. And the bowling, if you look at it, the most successful bowler was the Ryder Murphy part-time off spinner Joe Denley, 10 overs on maiden, 4 for 57. Imran Qayyum was costly, 2 for 60. I'm not going into those nitty-gritties. Stevens had none for 59, 9 overs for 54 for Podmore, Henry 9 overs, none for 64, Hackett 3 overs, 1 for 34, Imran Qayyum, as I said, was very costly, 9 overs, none for. Now Kent were chasing a target of 331 runs to win from their 50 overs. They definitely had Bell Drummond contributing a very good score. He contributed 86 of 89 deliveries with 11 fours. The other principal contributor, Sam Billings, made 75 of 60 deliveries, 8 fours and 1 6. Other than that, Henry Hino Kuhn, who has been having a sort of a pink run as far as the Royal London One Day Cup is kind of having hit 4, I think if I'm not wrong, he had 5 centuries. He was run out for 32 of 39 balls, so that was a sort of a really unfortunate. Hino Kuhn could not continue on, 32 of 39 balls, and in the form he was in, one could have expected Hino Kuhn to really contribute, but unfortunately that was not the case. 32 of 39 deliveries, 4 fours and 1 6. Denley making 12, Dixon 30, Blake 9, Stevens 12, Henry Stevens made 12, Henry not Haggett 1, Podmore 1, Kayoom 3. 269 all out, and Hampshire beating Kent in the Royal London One Day, beating them by 61 runs to lift the Royal London One Day Cup. And congratulations to Hampshire. Rilee Rissouw for his very, very attractive innings was named man of the match. Now, looking at the bowling card for the Hampshire bowlers, Wood 9 overs 1 for 43. Dale Steyn was into action, but I have to say that Dale Steyn could not hit his straps. 9 overs 1 maiden, 56 runs and 1 wicket for Dale Steyn. Berg 9.1 overs 1 maiden, 43 runs and 2 wickets. Liam Dawson 10 overs 1 maiden, 1 for 48. Mason Crane 7 overs was thrashed for 53 with 1 wicket, and he would be probably out of action with a stress fracture. Wins 3 overs none for 21. And thus ended this particular match. And as I said, the Royal London One Day Cup went to Hampshire. Just before I go, a bit of a cricket snippet, or a cricket news I would say, and that is to say that Jasprit Bumrah, who is out of the T20 series against England, will be replaced by Deepak Chahar. Deepak Chahar, just for cricket fans, he's a very good bowler. He has some decent pace. He used to play for Royal Challengers, if my memory serves me right, in the IPL. He did a wonderful job. The good point about him is that he moves the ball both ways at good pace, and he's a very handy bowler to have. And I reckon he would be the ideal replacement for Jasprit Bumrah, only for the fact that he swings the ball both ways, and in English conditions, you need someone to really swing the ball. And I think Deepak Chahar, to me, would be the right choice, and one is looking forward to Deepak Chahar really grabbing this chance with both hands. This being said, it's about time for me to have a wind-up on this daily cricket show of mine. And that's it, dear fans and subscribers. See you all tomorrow. Thank you.